Please welcome to the stage James Phelps and Oливер Фелпс. Oliver, there he is. Come on.
How's it going?
Hi guys, welcome to Denver.
Thank you for having us. Hello everybody on a Friday night here in summertime. How nice. I don't know where that summertime thing came from, but...
Have you guys had a chance to get out and do anything yet, or is that all coming this weekend?
That's all coming. We got into town on Wednesday evening, and then yesterday I actually walked about 11 miles all around.
So you got around a little bit.
I was pretty much like a Pac-Man going up and down the blocks yesterday. But yeah, it was good. It was really enjoyable. And then meeting people today from all over the place, but everyone's been really friendly, so enjoying it.
Well, they're big fans of you, right? You guys? And isn't that one of the great things about coming to a convention and connecting with people who are passionate about your work? Is sometimes, you're so removed as an actor and you don't really get to enjoy the fan base, but Harry Potter has such amazing, loyal, intelligent fans. When did you guys first realize, this was all out there waiting for you?
It's tricky, really. We kind of knew that it was a big deal before we started filming. But to the level it got to, I don't think anyone could ever have imagined that you could go pretty much anywhere on the planet and people know, at the very least, what you're talking about. But it's great to be able to come to things like this. You guys feel the need to come and spend your Friday evening with us, and that is awesome. So thank you very much.
So why don't you guys take us back to 2000, when you first had the open call for the roles and sort of the whole casting process and how it was so unique for Harry Potter and especially the one you guys went through. So can you share with us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so essentially how we got the part and how we actually got into acting in the first place. We discovered that they were doing open auditions for the whole cast, really, every character. And actually, the week before we went for the audition, one of the drama teachers at school said, don't take drama for your high school because you don't have a career in it. You won't have it.
Well, they were wrong.
Hello from Denver. And so, yeah, so anyway, these auditions came up, and we thought, yeah, we can have a day off school here. That could be good. Stay in school. And then we then went to this open audition, and there was a good few thousand people, all shapes and sizes, all going for different parts. And Oliver and I realized we were the only guys not going for the roles of Fred and George, and we were the only ones who weren't dressed the same. And so we thought, missing a trick. So we ran over to the nearest department store, just grabbed 2 t-shirts off the rack, and then that was it. Took a raffle ticket, and you had to wait until your number was called. And about 2 hours later or something, we eventually got called, and then it's like a sliding doors moment, door on the left, door on the right. We went into door on the left, which just happened to have the head casting director in it. She liked Oliver and I. Long story short, we then met Chris Columbus, the director, David Heyman, the producer. The week later, had about 4 or 5 different auditions after that, and then got given the parts. So yeah, quite a busy 6 weeks.
And the thing that is so amazing as an actor is something like that never really happens, where you just come in and your first job essentially that you guys are auditioning for. Nailed it.
Well, yeah.
Now, it's funny you mentioned not having the same clothes on, because you guys obviously look, knowing you look different to me, but to someone who doesn't, and if you're dressed the same, you look identical. You didn't base the Weasley twins necessarily on yourself, but wasn't there another set of twins in your school that you went to that you sort of drew from?
Yeah, there was a bit. Obviously we had the books were great source of knowledge and everything for it, but yeah, there was a set of twins in our year group, Chris and Carl, who were probably like Fred and George, but probably a bit darker. Probably a bit. So yeah, we kind of took a bit from that, and then our own personalities as well. And then when we got on set, we were basically told, just have fun. So as a 14-year-old boy who's a bit not very mature in himself anyway, being told to do that, it was great.
Magic.
Yeah.
And I also read, and I believe this is the case, that at the first table read, you didn't know who would be playing whom. Is that correct?
No, it was quite bizarre. So we were sat. So a read-through is what happens at the beginning of a production, and most of the cast sit around a table, like a big square room, and everyone's got a bit like this. Here we are. We have me there. We'll do James. It's just like you're there, right?
This is a very accurate description.
This is exactly what happened. So we get there, and you've got all the characters have got their names in front of where they're sitting, except James and I didn't know. So we got there, and we were like, where do we sit? And so we went and saw Janet, who's the head casting director, and we said, Janet, who's Fred and who's George? And she looked at us and was like, you're kidding, right? No. So you see Janet go around the table, back over there where J.K. Rowling, Chris Columbus, and David Heyman, the producer, is sitting. And she's like whispering in her ear, and they're like looking back and going like that. So they're obviously relaying the massive board meeting, what they had at Birdbank. She came back around the table, right, James, you're Fred, Oliver, you're George. And that was it. So I like to think there was a lot of thought went into it. But yeah, we stuck with those guys throughout.
Deep consideration. We're going to open it up to audience questions. So we'll start over here. And while they get themselves sort of organized, is there a scene from any of the books that didn't make it into the films that you guys wish would have involving your characters?
No. What a boring answer. What a boring answer. Yeah, for me, it would be the swamp scene, or the part from the swamp in the Goblet of Fire.
James?
It's like a semi-answer to your question. In the Deathly Hallows, when Fred and George are like on the Resistance radio, we actually did that for the computer game, but we didn't get to do it for the actual movie. So that would have been quite cool to.
Absolutely, yeah. Okay, let's take our first question over here. Do we have a question? Raise your hand.
It's going to be a really short Q&A, isn't it? Yeah.
Trust me, these guys have questions. All right, yes, stand up.
Come on. What's your question? Oh, are you okay? How old are you?
Now, wait a minute. I'm sure you can do the math.
Well, he's 31, but I'm not going to tell you how old I am. So that's...
Thank you. All right, hi, right here in the middle.
So I was wondering, did you guys ever like switch parts on set just to like mess with the crew?
Well, I played Hagrid once. No, we didn't actually. We kind of, I think on one long Great Hall scene in a rehearsal, on a long wide angle we did, and then that somehow got transpired that I've read somewhere on the, a meme, what comes up or whatever on the internet that says that we were caught and they had to reshoot the whole film. We'd just be edited out. They wouldn't reshoot the thing. So yeah, but no, we very much just stayed as we were, Fred and George, the whole time. Especially in the later films we had to, because I was missing an ear for half of it, so.
Thank you. Yes, hi.
Hello. What was your favorite Harry Potter movie to film?
To film, probably The Goblet of Fire by a hair. Not because of a hair, but because, although I did like the hair in The Goblet of Fire. I think just simply because I remember on that movie, it was we had new guys came in as well. So we had Rob, Stan, Clements, Katie, all these other guys came in. And we just had such a great laugh doing it. I say not that we didn't on all the others, but I remember particularly that movie when we wrapped, everyone was kind of a bit bummed out because we were just having such a great time. And I think that does come over in the movie itself.
Thank you. Yes, hi.
Hi. I was wondering,
Obviously, James Red dies in the 7th one.
Spoiler.
Sorry.
I mean, come on.
She's kidding.
Sorry to everyone. How was that like for both of you, kind of like knowing that one was gonna die? Like, was that hard to think about and which one you were playing and stuff like that, I guess?
It's pretty easy for me.
You just had to lay there. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I actually remember reading the 7th book, and I was reading it, and I was like, oh no, George gets really hurt. It's like, that's horrible. And I kept reading. It's like, So, yeah, it could have been a lot worse for him. But on the actual filming day of the, when they have Fred laid out in the Grey Hall, and that was a bit strange because I was talking with Julie Walters about it, and she was just like, you just got to kind of make it real, as it were, so kind of think back to a bereavement or something like that, which you can only do for a little bit, and then you get on set, and one thing she did say is don't talk to anyone when you go in there, just go straight on and do it. So did that, and so I'm getting on set, getting in that mindset. And a makeup artist comes up to me with it looks like almost like a lipstick. And she comes up to me and it's actually eucalyptus spray. And she just goes in my eyes, so I'm crying for real anyway. And yeah, it took about 2 takes and then that was it. But the funny thing about that story is, again, going back to stuff you read on the internet isn't always true. We've read once that at the end of filming, we got up, hugged, told each other how much we loved each other. Everyone on set clapped. If you want to believe that, close your ears for the next bit. What actually happened was we went to lunch and left James asleep on the stretcher.
Okay. Thank you.
So to answer your question, yes.
Thank you. Hi, we'll go over here.
Hello.
Hello.
I wanted to ask, what's it like, coming to a convention or a room like this where it's all filled out just to see you guys? What's that kind of like being skyrocketed into the spotlight when you're just kids? Well, not anymore, I guess.
Thank you. It's a really great ego boost. I'm not going to... No, to be honest with you, it's still something which we're very thankful for you guys for coming and wanting to hear some of our stories. But I guess it's just nice that we all connect on something. And yeah, we're just very, very privileged to be on this stage with name cards now put there.
Yeah, yeah. And it is awesome. I've got to be honest, it is absolutely awesome. So yeah, as we said, thanks for coming. We're not finishing now. We've still got half an hour left, but thanks so much for coming out. It is awesome, and to think that we can come somewhere we've never been to this city before and get a reception like this is awesome.
Don't. He was plugging for that. Don't.
Thank you. Well, it's a good point that you bring up. All these guys obviously are passionate about you guys and Harry Potter. What do you guys geek out about? What do you guys love?
Sports, a lot of. We were having this conversation before about people like who are really into sports, so they could name a player from so many years ago. But yet, sometimes if you're really into a film and you name a load of dialogue from a film, you're seen as a nerd. What is the difference between, if anything, knowing more about... But it's true, though. I mean, is it not more strange to know a guy's personal habits and his running yards and everything like that from 3 seasons ago than that? I don't know. It's an interest.
I mean, I agree with you. The fandoms are very similar, even in
Yeah.
sports, with the dressing up and the painting and the everything. It's like cosplay for sports.
Yeah. Only these guys don't necessarily have to stand in the cold to do it. So yeah, I mean, sports and...
How did you get onto that?
I've got no idea. I've been up since 5 a.m.
That took a dive.
Yeah.
Me personally, I'm quite a big space nerd. So, yeah, That and guitars. I'm a bit of a guitar geek as well.
Nice. All right, let's go right here. Hi.
Was playing Fred and George Weasley hard or easy?
Was it hard or easy to play the Weasley twins?
For the majority of the time, very, very easy. Because, like Oliver said, we were pretty much given full reign. If we wanted to have fun, go and have fun. And we did. So, yeah, it was pretty easy to do. Yeah.
And we were twins, which really made it a lot easier as well.
Thank you. Hi, up at the very top right there. Hi.
Hi. So, working on the movies, who was your favorite cast member to work with?
Ooh, you want them to pick favorites?
Yes.
Have you sorted yourself in a house?
Slytherin.
Yeah, it
How
makes
did
sense.
I know
that
It wasn't you, don't you? I'm going to sound like a politician now. So many are great. But honestly, I guess we had a lot of fun with Rupert and Tom and Bonnie and Matt and all the guys our age, Dan, Emma, yeah, all the kids as they were then. But adult-wise, Julie Walters being our mum, Dame Julie Walters as she is now. Like that was, she's awesome. And as well, Michael Gambon, Dumbledore, like he's the funniest man I've ever met. Like, and I can remember there was once where Oliver and I were reading a piece of, what it is, like a story. We're doing Peter and the Wolf with the Halle Orchestra. It's like the Manchester City Orchestra. And I was doing that on the weekend, and in the daytime on the Friday, Michael came over to me just off set, and I was reading this script. And he's saying, "What are you doing?" I told him. He said, "Oh, I've done that. Yeah, I'll talk you through it." So I've literally got Dumbledore teaching me how to do it. But I thought, you know, for a guy of his stature, he didn't need to do that, but he did anyway. So, you know, it was really cool.
Thank you. Hi, over here. Hi.
Hi. So Fred and George obviously were the jokers of the whole Harry Potter series. What was your favorite prank and or invention you sold in your stores?
Ooh. Knowledge. I would say, I mean, the Skyvis snack boxes, surely. Because you actually saw that was like the first thing what they actually came up with. And I think that was probably their biggest seller as well. So, yeah, probably the Skyvis snack boxes. James?
Same?
Yeah, I'd say the same. Or the anti-pimple cream. Can you imagine if that were real?
Oh, yeah, that'd be good.
Yes.
Thank you. Hi. Hop on up.
What did you think about them taking out the tongues toffee part?
How'd you guys feel about that?
It saved us a lot of hard dialogue, I suppose. I suppose it's like you said, a lot of stuff gets cut from the movies because, unfortunately, if it's not moving Harry's journey forward, it kind of got put aside. So, let's say it would have been awesome to have that in there as well, but again, something else we lost out on.
But I think that if they had kept everything from the books in the movies, we'd still be filming them.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. That's the beauty of having something based on a book is you get to experience the book in a different way. And a lot of people complain, oh, it's not like the movie isn't as good as the book. Well, it's different. It's never going to be the same because there's too much material to fit into 90 minutes or 120 minutes.
But also, you know what's going on in the background of the story anyway, because all the actors, we know what's going on as well. So yes.
Yeah. Thank you. That was a great question. Thank you. Hi.
Hi, I wanted to know about specifically how your individual personalities influenced Fred and George and how their personalities from the books influenced you as individuals, and also your experience, how that influenced you as people.
A lot of influencing going
yeah.
on. But I like your point.
I think for me it would be, in terms of our influence to the characters, certainly came a bit later on. We were very much so. So Fred and George are what, 16, 17 years old, 18, whatever, about this age. They're not going to dress the same anymore. And they were, you can see the guys like, I suppose that makes sense. Yeah. Okay, what do you think? We're like, I think they'd have really sharp, tailored suits. So they, and I think the guys in the wardrobe department already were on that mindset as well, which is quite cool. So we had this guy flown in. We didn't have this guy. They had a guy flown in. I didn't make a demand for it, but we were getting this suit fitted out by this guy who flew in from Paris to do it, and we were like, just subtle differences, like, okay, well, they may have similar tastes, but different colors and things like that. So that was one thing we got to put into the characters. Hairstyle, maybe on the fourth one. Yeah. The first three, as you could tell, we didn't have a say in what we had on our hair. And maybe in terms of the characters with us, I suppose maybe it made us a bit more of a practical jokers type attitude. Maybe. I'm going to use that excuse.
How they also rubbed off on us, well, me anyway, because I was always I was like the shy kid. This would scare the living hell out of me when I was 14, 15. But playing a character like Fred, he craves this kind of attention, and that kind of you kind of have to put yourself in that mindset. And once I did that, I kind of enjoyed being outgoing, and it kind of made me a lot more. This is fun. Yeah.
That's great. Thank you. Yes. Hi.
Hi. So Fred and George were pranksters, right? So did you pull any pranks on set? And if so, what was your favorite prank?
We can't actually say our favorite one. Because the person still doesn't know.
All I'll say is that it did end up with, I'm trying to think without putting anyone in it.
Well, I just remember there was another person who was also in our family, Rupert, who, he's in on it as well. To this day, we're still like, have you? No, still hasn't.
But the person in question ended up having to change email address, phone number. But the reason because of it is in their head, it was I'm not even going to try and describe it, it sounds terrible. But we had a really good laugh.
It's kind of one of
And
those...
we got away with it as well, that was the best bit.
Yeah. But one that we can say, I'm trying to think.
Surely there's one.
I don't know, we've got to be careful what we say. They're getting very strict on who they let in this country, and if we're, we've got to, we need to behave. We need to behave,
Got it.
What do you think?
I know there was a very boring, easy one was one guy had fallen asleep right next to one of the TVs in one of the dressing rooms, and there was a PlayStation attached, and Call of Duty was in there. So I decided to go in, turn the volume up to 100, pull out a rocket launcher, and just fire it on the screen. And you've never seen someone raise like vertically before. That was fun.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Hi.
What was it like doing Quidditch?
Ooh, that's a good question.
It was long. And it was painful for a boy. But I remember in the third film, and we were filming, and it was supposed to be raining. So we'd be on a broomstick, and it was almost on like a big tripod type thing, and you'd be on there, and there'd be blue and green screen around you. And the third film, it was all raining and everything like that. So they'd be okay and rolling, and all of a sudden you see a guy come over with a load of water and literally just... And you'd have to try and get it almost to the millisecond correct, whatever movement you're doing, so it matches in with the virtual reality, or not virtual reality, the CGI. And yeah, so it took a while, but it was awesome to say you've done that type of thing, because that's what everyone remembers. It's certainly a lot different to when we see people play college Quidditch and stuff like that.
Thank you. Hi.
Did you guys take the Pottermore house quiz? And if you did, what houses did you get?
Did you sort yourselves?
Yeah. Kind of got to, haven't you? Yeah, I did. I got away really good. I got into Gryffindor, which was really good because... Yeah, it was really helpful. I mean, I already had the tie, so it was good. It was good.
I actually got put into Hufflepuff.
That's good. Me too, by the way.
And we have actually done, I don't know if you have, I did the Patronus one. And I got an osprey, like a bird of prey, which is quite cool. But I really wanted a hedgehog. And then I can remember I saw Ivana a couple of weeks later, and I was like, have you done that? Like, what have you? And she's like, yes, I'm a salmon. Oh. But then I wanted to know, like, is the Patronus, like, does it swim or does it just, like, flap on the floor? Yeah, I did actually, I messaged J.K. Rowling asking, like, can I trade in? And no.
No, you're stuck. You're stuck with what you got, just like the rest of us. Hi.
Hello. I know you kind of already got this question, but what was your favorite Weasley Wizarding Wheezes and why?
I'm really sorry, but the answer's going to be the same. The Skiving Snack Box is purely because it was the first one, what they came up with, and yeah, it was good to have those things. And I may still have some puking pasties at my house, so that's quite cool.
Thank you. Hi.
Hi, guys. I have a question. So, what is your favorite memory with Alan Rickman, who was ever Snape?
Yeah, one of those where it's, yeah, we've got quite a few, and there was, you know, one that's always memorable was the scene when Ron asks, Fred, like, in the fourth movie, he's like saying, have you got someone a date to the ball yet? And so we do that scene, and then Ron gets hit around the head with a book. And he really got hit by a... So that was, I remember being really enjoying watching that one. It's always...
Thank you. Hi.
Hi. Do you guys have any fun or bizarre fan stories?
Well, what do you think?
Both of them, yeah.
It's awesome because, as I said earlier, you can go anywhere in the world and I've never been surprised by who's actually a Potter fan. It's bizarre, but really cool. In terms of, how do you mean stories? Nice? Awkward? Fun?
So one of those, like, internet stories is, like, that Rupert Grint got taken, like, to someone's apartment by drag queens, and they dressed him up and then took him on parade. Do you have your own?
Well, we actually left him that night. That was the 30 Seconds to Mars gig, wasn't it?
We introduced them. It was great. Yeah.
Do you believe that one?
I would like to.
Okay. Yeah. Trying fun stories. There was.
Actually, a couple of weeks ago, we actually saw Guns N' Roses play in London, which amazing. If they're playing here soon, go and see them. A really good gig. Anyway, so we're rocking out, jumping up and down, and this unit in front of me, like I'm Juggernaut, is standing in front, and he literally, like, he's like partying, turns around, and he just goes, "Oh, Fred and George."
followed by
That's
like, yeah,
awesome.
look, buddy, yeah. And he's got like the dark mark tattooed there. So it is awesome. Like, you really don't expect some people to be as into it. But I suppose, people have grown up with it, and it's such a part of a staple of who they are now, which is awesome.
Thanks. Thank you. That was a great question. Thank you. I'm sure you guys get asked this a lot, but I'm sure there's a lot of aspiring young actors and actresses out here. What advice do you give someone who wants to get into the business?
You're probably better to say about getting into, because we skip school, so I don't know about that.
Skip school, that's number one.
But, I would say personally, don't, just because you get knocked back once, don't accept it as anything bad on you. It's just you're not particularly what they're looking for that part. But you just keep plugging along, and eventually you'll get there. Would you agree? Yeah.
Perseverance.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
That's good. All right, hi.
What was your favorite memory on set?
Ooh, that's a lot of sets to cover.
That's a big
but
one,
do you
yeah.
have one standout moment?
I'm trying to think of one which comes first of all. I think standout memory. There's so many. Like, there's one from each film. Really, what stands out. I remember the final day we were filming. And it was actually the scene when Fred and George are on the battlements in Hogwarts, watching Voldemort's mob rock up. And David, the director, was like, right, just say whatever comes into your head. So that's where the whole "you're right, Freddy," or however it went. But the weird bit was that behind so we were in the studios, and they were knocking the studios down when we finished, and we were literally one of the last to wrap. And you've got so say we're on the set here, and where that screen is a wall, and the other side of the wall is a bulldozer. And the next day, we knew that whole place was getting taken down to the ground. And that's quite a big memory, because I remember thinking to myself, I'm not going to be back here again. Which it was sad, but at the same time, it was like...
Don't play up to it. This is what you're going for.
I want tears. I want them now. No, and it was very much a case of, well, what a nice way to go in terms of we've seen the whole thing out from start to finish. And as it turned out, when the final film came out, it went out on the peak of its popularity. So that was an awesome thing.
I'd say for me, one that popped into my mind was we were filming outside one of in the summer, and we do actually get them sometimes in England. And we decided to have a game of cricket on Privet Drive. So, but I kind of hit the ball through number 4 Privet Drive. And it was like when you're a kid and you're playing outside and that happens, everyone just like,
Thank you. That was a great question. Thank you. All right. Yes, up here. Is there a mic there? All right. Yep, go ahead, please. Yep, you.
I was wondering, even though you guys got sorted into Gryffindor and Hufflepuff, what would your personally favorite Hogwarts house be?
I'd probably have to stick with Gryffindor, As I say, I've already got the uniform. But yeah, I think you kind of have to go with it, don't you? Because that's where it's sorted you into. It's taken your traits together. Yeah. And there's a lot of Hufflepuffs in here, so I think he's going to have to say yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Hi, yes, right here.
What other movies have you liked being in?
Well, and I'll follow that up with, what do you look for now in a role? After playing such iconic characters for so long, it's hard, to imagine. I imagine a role would have to be pretty special for you to jump in and tackle it. What do you look for? What attracts you to material?
Just something different, or just like something that I would personally want to see or enjoy doing. I actually did a horror film last year. Last year. Called Patchwork, which is very like a silly film, like a silly comedy. But you're probably a bit too young for that right now. But that was good fun to do. And actually, we weren't really acting, but we were just presenting a show on the radio, which actually aired a couple of hours ago in the UK with the BBC Concert Orchestra, and that was cool to do as well. So again, something that we haven't done before, but that was really cool. And actually, a short story with that: we went to rehearse with the orchestra. So you've got this huge ensemble behind you, and they are, I can't remember what song I think they did like Indiana Jones or something to warm up. And at the end of it, it's like all bang cymbals, everything. And so Oliver and I start clapping, but we're the only people in the room that's clapping because it's a rehearsal, and everyone kind of like looks at you like, "What?"
You're like, it was good.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. So, but yeah, I'd say that.
Thank you. Hi.
If you could create your own Hogwarts house, what would it be, like color, animal, and like value?
Okay. What about you?
I would make one that was just pink and unicorns, because.
And what's the value of that?
And what would the characteristics be?
I don't know.
Warm and fuzzy.
Creativity. I don't know.
That's good.
Oh, I don't know. Do I have to be in it, or is it just to rock the boat a bit? I don't know, because you could do a lot, couldn't you? You could have one that's like a scheming house, like a fox. And their colours would be ginger. I don't know. And the... mate, that's not a very nice house, is it? I'm not good at this game. I'm not good at this game. You got any? No?
It'd be purple, because that was the colour of my house at school. And it'd be a sloth. It's like...
That's a good one.
The chilled out
the most relaxed house going, wouldn't it? Yeah.
The relaxing house.
Exactly. Yeah. House Point.
Yeah.
No, I don't think
Thank you. Do we have a question over here? Hi.
Hey guys. My mom passed away. You guys were her favorite character. I just wanted y'all to know that. If you had the chance to go into the pensieve and relive a memory, what would you guys do?
Oh wow. From filming?
Nah, personal.
Oh, wow, man.
To be honest, it is kind of related to filming. It would be the last premiere in London, in Trafalgar Square, which is... Normally they do film premieres in Leicester Square, which is still quite big, but Trafalgar Square is very big. And I think they estimated about 20,000 people were there that day. And it was the loudest thing you've ever been to. And just the most passionate as well. I think it took Oliver and I 4 hours to get into the theatre because we wanted to speak to everybody we possibly could. And that really just blew me away, just how much it meant to people. I actually met one girl who flew from Australia, got off the plane, went to Trafalgar Square, waited there for a week, saw everyone just walk in. She didn't even see the movie. She just saw people walk in and then went home again. And it was like, that just blows my mind. Like, it's
I wouldn't want to be next to her on the plane, though.
Have some good stories, though, I guess.
True,
but just things like that, that really did blow my mind. And yeah, just very, very fortunate to witnessed it.
Yeah, cool.
And me? Yeah, I'd probably go for that one, yeah. I'm trying. No, I've got another one, but that's quite a personal one. But yeah, I'll probably go for that one for like, because there was one bit where we were walking in, and you've literally got, as James said, you've probably got like 10,000 people either side of you, and it's like, wait. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Yeah.
Thank you, and our condolences about your mother.
Yes. Oh, she loves you guys. She lives through me.
Awesome. Hi.
I actually have two questions. My first is, my dress is the Marauders map. So where on it, where would you be?
Family show.
And
right
the
next to your
second
heart.
question is, did you read the new Harry Potter book, and what do you think of it?
I guess I kind of cheated because I saw the play. But that's the same. It's pretty much the same, right? It was really good.
Thank you.
Drop mic.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. And your dress is very cute. You're welcome. Hi.
Hi. So I was wanting to know if either one of you could play the Doctor from Doctor Who. Which one would it be? And would you re-dye your hair ginger for the role?
Yeah. Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, of course, yeah.
If you're the Doctor, can I be like a Dalek? Like, you'll never see me, but I will be in the Dalek thing. Yeah, exactly.
That's a great question. I have a casting question. Obviously, it would make no sense for you both to go in for the same role if a casting director has a call. So how do you guys decide, like, okay, I'll go in for this one, I'll go in for this one? How do you divvy up those auditions?
Hide his car keys, usually.
It's good.
No, we kind of have a chat normally and just decide, like, you've got to be completely honest. Who's more likely going to get this part with your personality, like how you portray it and everything? I'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any calls? Nope. Yeah, that's the way it goes, yeah.
Hi.
Hi. If you hadn't have been the Weasley twins, what other character would you have liked to play?
I think, although it didn't make it into the final films, I looked from the books as a fan. Peeves, the poltergeist. Because he's kind of like George in a way, but only on a bit more of an extreme level. And he's a ghost, so yeah.
Thank you. Hi.
Are you sad that they didn't add in Peeves? Because my favorite part was when you were like, give her hell Peeves to Dolores Umbridge.
Yeah. Now we didn't plan that question either, mate. That was an awesomely timed question. Yeah, it was a shame because he was with a lot of stuff what Fred and George did. Yeah, that was a shame he wasn't there.
I'm like, why? Just like that so much.
Were you enjoying yourself this weekend?
Yeah.
Do you enjoy yourself right now?
Yes.
Okay, good. Maybe that'll make up for it. We have time for a couple quick questions. Hi, up here. Go ahead.
Have you seen the Star Wars films? And if so, would you pick Harry Potter or Star Wars?
Wow.
Wow. I would say, yes, I have seen, and one of them.
That's fair.
Is that vague and fair and politician enough?
I think so.
It's going to be great.
Yes, I've seen him in Harry Potter. But I do like him, but I'm a bit more attached to Harry Potter.
Hi, and this will be our last question. Hi.
What's your guys' favorite Harry Potter book?
Book would be the Goblet of Fire. I think it was the last book I read before we went for the auditions because the Goblet of Fire had just come out when we went for the first audition, and it's the first time you see. I think you really see what Fred and George are up to. I mean, obviously in the third one they gave Harry the Marauder's map, but when they've got the old firm as it turned into in the film, where they've got the betting and they're trying to do all that. Yeah, that really made a good point.
Don't promote gambling.
Well, you know, I mean, the lesson is they lost everything, and then Harry won the Goblet of Fire, so he gave them the money to start it. So, yeah, don't gamble. And don't hope that a fire-eating dragon gets...
That's the fifth one.
No, it wasn't. It was the fourth one.
Oh, I thought it was
I remember them.
Sorry, yes.
Yeah, I remember them, yeah.
Take that back. I would say The Prisoner of Azkaban is my favourite one, the third one. again, like Oliver said, I remember reading that one again during the audition process. And I know it sounds a bit corny, but you know when you open a book and you smell the smell of a book, like that smell is what I remember for that book. Which, although I love a Kindle because it's easy to walk around with.
You look a bit silly sniffing a Kindle there, don't you?
Yeah. But do you know what I mean? Like the smell of a book, I think, is something really, really cool. So that's what that kind of.
Absolutely. Thank you, Oliver, James. This has been an amazing hour. You guys are here all weekend, right?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, so you guys got to make sure you go down and say hi. And thank you guys so much. Did you guys enjoy yourselves? One more big round of applause for Oliver and James.
Thank you very much.
Thanks,
Cheers.
guys. Have a great weekend.